Hi everyone, happy summer solstice, which is of course today, Saturday, June 21st. I am welcoming in the summer solstice with my homemade elderflower cordial, which is truly delicious. I love making things with flowers and natural ingredients and doing it all myself at home. You can buy elderflower cordial in the shops. Don't, make it yourself. Tastes 90 times better. I might post a little quick recipe, I guess it would be, on my blog of how to do it. I will link you below, as I usually do. So I haven't updated in a while, shocking, I know, because I'm so good at updating. But in a serious moment, after a trauma this week, I have decided that I'm going to get on my game. I've started this new YouTube channel. I want it to be about books. I want to continue the book thing I had on my old channel to be read, book hauls, things like that. But I also want to incorporate some magic into it. I've been hugely inspired by Veronica Vallo and her The Parlour Tarot session, which I do every week online. $9.99. Go below. That's dollars, by the way, so if you're British like me, it's like a bargain. So yeah, just again, link will be below, and come and join us if you fancy being a fellow witch baby. So yeah, that has massively inspired me to kind of put myself out there and where I am. I don't hide my spirituality, and I'm more than welcome to answer any question, anything like that when people ask me, but you don't know that you can ask me unless I tell you. So yeah, today I'm kind of doing a bit of a linky video, so I'm linking magic into the books. So these aren't books I've just bought, these are books I've had for ages, or they might be ones I've recently purchased, but they're 3 of the top spiritual books I have ever found that have really helped me. And that doesn't mean spiritual as in self-help and love yourself, because you should do that anyway, you shouldn't need a book to tell you how to do that. This is more spiritual as in following paganism, druidry, Wicca, whichever sort of trend you want to follow it down. And even if you don't classify that as a religion for yourself, there are parts of these books that you might find really apply to you. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Let's get started. So this is book 1, The Real Witch's Handbook by Kate West. This book, if you're a Goodreads user, this book has a lot of positive and a lot of negative reviews. You have to bear in mind, when I got this and when I first read it, I was 13 years old. And it has really helped me shape how I wanted my personal religion to how I wanted it to suit me. I would definitely recommend that anyone read this book who is remotely interested in following a Wiccan or witchy sort of lifestyle. Don't be put off by the title, because this is a lot of people's critique, and it is one of my pet hates as well. The whole book, basically, she's saying there is no right or wrong way to do things. Of course there are guidelines, like the Law of 3, and you have your holidays, like Samhain, Beltane, the summer solstice, but you don't have to follow these norms of like witches wear black and witches wear hats and have black cats, and of course there's some sort of benefit to all these things, but she's basically saying you don't have to do this. You're not a TV star, you're not Sabrina the Teenage Witch, you're not Buffy or Willow from Buffy, to be correct. And then she's called the front the real witch, as in if you don't do this and you are any of those things, then you're not a real witch, which I find very frustrating. But the book itself was really helpful. It was very informational. The rituals that are in it and the spells she's trying to make you do, I wouldn't necessarily say follow them or do them. Give them a shot, they might work for you. But again, I was 13 when I read it. It even then seemed a bit dumbed down for me, and there wasn't a lot of explanation into why you were doing these things. But when it comes to like the holidays and stuff, she's got it all planned out wonderfully. She's got why we celebrate these holidays, how the proper old stories of how, for example, holly and ivy are related all the way back to pagan religion, and how the Christmas tree is a pagan tradition. And And no, in that sense, it's not slating the Christian religion or anything and saying that they stole anything from us. It's just simple, truth-based facts. So yeah, look, see, even my 13-year-old self was leaving little notes for myself to remember things. What have we got? A list of healing stones, herbs, and what deity you want to be praying to. Oh, I've got this quote. This is my favourite quote. Well, one of my favourite quotes ever. I don't know if you can read that. I'm going to come taste it. So, it's... No, my handwriting was pretty appalling back then. So, it says, "It's not like we picked up a copy of the Salem Witch Trials and said, yeah, let's do that." I have no idea who said that, but my 13-year-old self loved it, because I hated this whole, you are doing this because I was also going through a massive goth phase at the time, and it's like, you're just doing this because everybody else is doing it. You're just breaking the norms, and you don't want to go to church, and you don't want to do this, so you're creating this. You'll grow out of it, which is the worst thing ever. It's a religion, you do not grow out of it. And even when it's not your religion, as I was saying before, when you take aspects of it and you create a religion for yourself, mine is like, love this book, love Wicca in general, but my version of my religion is so much more nature-based, so much more nature-based. I'm vegan. I have like both front and back gardens are full of potted plants. I do whatever I can to help the environment. I would willingly go out and clean all the friggin' dirty woods and everything. I adopt shitloads of animals, and that is part of my religion. And it might not seem like it is, but it is. Your religion is what you make it. So yeah, The Real Witch's Handbook by Kate West. Great for anyone starting out, really. If you're just slightly interested, have a read. Read through. Don't use this as your only source book. Please don't use this as your only source book. Do your research, but this is a great place to start. The second book, this is The Hedge Witch's Way by Ray Beth. I'm not going to go massively into detail of this book, but one of the things I really liked about it was any of these new modern age books you buy on spiritual beliefs are all, well, no, they're not all, that's a lie, majoritively, they're American. And through that, they assume that you're surrounded by loads of people who you can form your own coven with, and you're going to have all the help in the world, and you have access to everything, and it's fine, and there's not going to be any struggle for you to get loads of people together to do this ritual that needs like 9-10 people. And that drives me insane, especially when I was younger, because I was scared to branch out to other people who might feel how I do, but aren't in my like very tight-knit group of friends, which was only 3 or 4 of us. So yeah, this book is great because it's very, very, very solitary witchcraft. It's for the lone practitioner. I think it even says that. Oh, it says lone spellcaster. I was close. So also it's very, very based on nature, again, which, as I previously stated, makes it all the more interesting to me. It's got a beautiful cover. Beautiful cover. It's got little spells in there, prayers, I guess. I hate that word because it sounds so Catholic, so Christian, but I guess essentially it's the correct word to use. So yeah, she's done excellent with this book. I greatly enjoyed it, as well as all those spells and how to craft, how to create a circle, everything you'll find in normal books. She's looked a bit back. You have chapters on familiars. It's got cute little illustrations in it as well. Oh, look at that. I flicked to my favourite illustration in the whole book. Genuinely, it's probably because I had the page open so much, but genuinely a coincidence. It's a little hare with the wings by the fireplace, and it's well cute. So yeah, lone practitioners, this book is great for you, especially if you have access to the great outdoors all the time. Wonderful. And next, lastly, because I said there was only going to be 3, this, excuse me, just talking too much. This is one of my favourite recent books I've bought. It's called Witchcrafting by Phyllis Coudert. She wrote a book before, which I believe was called Book of Shadows, which I haven't read. It's very hard to find in print for a reasonable price. Yeah, which is very, very hard to find. So this is my only basis of her work. But to be honest, the first one, Book of Shadows, is more like a journal, her personal journal, through finding her way into the craft and everything. This is more of a guide, so really I picked the best one. So yeah, I have adored reading this book, adored it. And I can tell you why straight away. The first thing, maybe about 3 pages in, I read that she wrote, she said, I don't want you to sit there and imagine the wind, or imagine that you can hear the rain or the sound of the sea. I want you to go out there and I want you to actually feel it. And that struck a chord with me, because in all these other books you might have read, they're generally like, picture the sun, or as you're lighting your incense, pretend you can feel the wind. And no, do it outside. Go outside. At least be as close as you can to the actual thing. And from there on, I knew I was going to love this book. I knew it. There's a lot of steps to this book. Like, you read a few pages and then she'll have what would you call it? Like, not an activity, because that sounds like it's like a practice for you to do. And she says, do this before you read on. You don't have to. You could read the whole book through and then stop and do the practices, which I did with some of them. But with others, it really helped to stop and actually do them. Like meditation. Meditation is something I've always struggled with. Shutting my mind off just does not happen. So when it came to that section in the book, I put the book down and I didn't read it for 4 days until I'd mastered what she was asking me to master. It's got beginner practice levels and advanced practice levels. So no matter where you are in the world of the craft, there is something for you in here. It's tailored to everyone. Which again is really lovely. Yeah, and another thing I liked about it was she gets all sciencey, and you're like, it blew my mind. And I don't, like, I studied science in A-level and everything, and I don't know how this didn't click with me. She says, science tells us, quantum physics tells us that oh god, this is going to be a horrible part of the bit. I'm not going to flick through it and find it. Quantum physics tells us that everything is made up of particles, and therefore everything is made up of energy. So when you're thinking that a stone outside has energy, all these people who go out and hug trees, we know they're already alive, but they're made up of particles and energy. They're made up of the same particles and energy that we are made up of. They are just conformed differently. And our belief towards these particles can change their form and shape when we study them separately. It's a lot better explained, but it just makes you feel like when you're younger, you're fine with it. And then you go through a series in your like early 20s, or I find most people do anyway, who are like, oh god, I feel really stupid. What if someone catches me speaking to this rock? Or I've got all these crystals and they're supposed to have these properties and everyone laughs at me and is like, it's just a rock. But reading this, you kind of get back past that again, and you're like, actually, scientifically, I'm being very, very intelligent. You are being stupid by thinking that they can't possibly have these properties, or that this rock cannot hear you, or I'm not suggesting you go out and talk to rocks, but read the book, it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, that's Witchcrafting by Phyllis Coudert. She is American, and she is a high priestess of a coven out in America, so there is quite a bit in this book that I'd say it's probably an even keel. There's like lone practitioner versus coven, so not all of this book will apply to you, but it's pretty chunky for a non-fiction. So there's a lot in there still that would be beneficial to you. So yeah, I did it. Well done guys for sitting there and listening to that. I did it. So yeah, don't hold your breath. But I am planning on being a little bit more scheduled with videos. I'm trying to do it on things I'm interested in at the moment. So because of, as I mentioned, Veronica's videos, I'm feeling super, super spiritual about life at the moment. So why not put that in my videos? You might not be interested in it, but someone else out there might be. And at the end of the day, I know a lot of people don't watch these videos, if any, but I make them for me. And that is one of the best things you can do. It's like with a blog, do it for yourself, when it's not like your main livelihood. If you just fancy starting a blog, do it. Don't care about how many followers you have. Everyone started off with like 0 followers, of course they did. But I love going back through old blog entries. It's like an online journal. And these videos I feel are the same, but at the same time I'm trying to inform you of various things. So yeah, I'm trying to be better. I'm trying. So the next video I want to do will be on tarot cards. Not in depth, don't expect anything like me telling you what the cards are or anything. For that, you will have to go to the parlour. But I'm going to tell you about my favourite decks that I have, and how they relate, and how I suggest you kind of get into it, like apart from the parlour, like other things you can do to sort of broaden your horizon on it. Because a lot of people are scared of it, and I don't understand. I really don't understand all these misconceptions and everything. So yeah, expect that sometime shortly. I'm not putting a date on it because then I will miss it. Yeah, so again, summer solstice, cheers, have a good one guys. I'm off in the kitchen and I'm gonna go make some jam. See you next time.